Okay, time for another news time. Who's ready for it? I know I am. Let's go. So, let's start off with. Well, that's not it. 2-14. So, Jay Bouwmeester is out for the rest of the season for the Blues. Let's read the article here. So, Jay Bouwmeester will be out for the rest of the season for the St. Louis Blues, but hasn't ruled out playing again. The 36-year-old defenseman had a cardiac episode during a game against the Anaheim Ducks on February 11th. He collapsed before he was revived by a defibrillator with 7:50 remaining in the first period. The game was postponed. There has been a lot going on, Bouwmeester said Wednesday in his first public comments since the incident. I think it's something that I'm going to definitely have to evaluate. But to say I've done that, I wouldn't say fully yet. There are decisions I'm going to have to make that'll come later. Just kind of taking small steps right now. It's tough. Honestly, hockey hasn't really been at the front of my mind the last couple of weeks. It put things in perspective. I'm a hockey player. I like to play hockey, so yeah, sure. I'd like to go out there when you put everything in perspective. It's okay to take a step back right now. Bouwmeester had an implantable cardioverter defibrillator (ICD) procedure on February 14th to restore his heart's normal rhythm. The Blues placed him on long-term injury reserve on February 18th. He visited his teammates prior to the 3-0 win against the New Jersey Devils at Enterprise Center. We both understand that he won't participate this year in the regular season or in the playoffs for us, Blues general manager Doug Armstrong said. We talked about longer term things that may or may not happen, and both feel like it's February. You don't have to make a long term decision at this point. He's going to take time, getting back with his family, and he's going to be around the team. He'll address those things as the summer progresses. Bouwmeester said he's feeling better and more normal since the incident. I'm at the point right now where I feel pretty good, he said. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird thing. That's kind of the weird thing about this whole thing is you go through something that happened totally out of the blue and unexpected to being in the hospital for a couple of days, and there's some restrictions as to what I can do, but I feel pretty normal, so that's a good thing. It's as scary as it's a scary thing, but everything's going to be pretty good lately, and we'll continue to evaluate things as they go. Bouwmeester has 9 points, 1 goal, 8 assists in 56 games this season. He had 7 assists in 2016 Stanley Cup playoff games to help the Blues win the Cup for the first time in their 51 season history. It's obviously great to have him back and around our team, Armstrong said. He's been at the arena for the last few days. He's been at a couple of games. It's the great presence in the locker room, and it's just a great presence to see him here again. Bouwmeester was traded to the St. Louis Blues by the Calgary Flames on April 1st, 2013. That has 124 points, 17 goals, and 107 assists in 490 regular season games with the Blues. I think just him being around and his resume and his respect that he has in the locker room, Blues center Braden Shen said. And he's around. The guys are listening. If he's talking, guys are listening. Everyone knows if he's here or not. I think just having Bouwmeester here, it feels a lot to us to have him around. Selected by the Florida Panthers in the first round, number 3 of the 2002 NHL entry draft, Bouwmeester has 424 points, 88 goals, 336 assists in 1,240 regular season games with the Blues, Flames, and Panthers, and 13 assists in 75 playoff games. The outreach and the support that people have shown is pretty overwhelming, Bouwmeester said. There were a lot of things in the absolute best case scenario. Places could not have happened. The outcome would have been very different from doctors from the hospital, pretty much saying I've talked to. That's the conscience. It happened in the absolute best place it could happen. Number 1, they saved my life, and the number 2, the fact that they could get on it so fast was very helpful. The Bulls will play the Ducks in the postponed game at Honda Center on March 11th. It will follow the same 60-minute format for all regular season games and begin the score tied 1-1 as it was when the game was postponed. The St. Louis game against the Florida Panthers at Enterprise Center, scheduled for March 10th, was rescheduled to March 9th, which is at 8 p.m. Pretty obvious that he was gonna be out for the rest of the season. I'm not saying that I didn't assume it. I didn't put this curse on him. It was kind of obvious. You get a cardiac episode, you're out for the rest of the season. He can't. He probably won't be able to. He probably won't even come back till the beginning of next season, and he might even retire before that. They did say he's unsure if he's gonna retire, but he may retire, and if he retires, oh, that's good. That's good for him. Wish him the best of luck. I'll do a career video on him, of course, and yeah. So yeah, that's it for the first news. Not surprised he's going to be out for the rest of the season. It was kind of obvious. All right, so let me actually get something in here because I forgot to add something. The coronavirus. We're talking about the coronavirus for like the second time in the past like 3 weeks, I guess I want to say. And this one is NHL says coronavirus could impact plans to have preseason games in China. Deputy Commissioner Daly also discusses Olympics, Capitals playing in Russia. The NHL continues to play preseason games in China in the fall, but is closely monitoring the spread of the coronavirus that originated there. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly said on Tuesday. The league played preseason games in China in 2017 and 2018 before not sending teams there in 2019 because of the logical issues of booking arenas. Plans to return to China for the 2020 preseason have yet to be announced, and Deputy Commissioner Daly indicated they would be impacted by the coronavirus outbreak that began in China in December and has rapidly become a global concern. We're monitoring, Deputy Commissioner Daly said. While attending the game between the Washington Capitals and the Winnipeg Jets at Capital One Arena on Tuesday, it's hard not to monitor it. It seems like we're getting closer to us every day that goes by. Certainly, it impacts what our plans will be in China in the future and in relatively near future. According to the website of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the coronavirus has spread throughout China and over 31 countries and territories, including the United States. As of February 23rd, 76,936 reported cases in mainland China and 1,875 cases outside of mainland China. Dick Pound of the International Olympic Committee told the Associated Press on Tuesday that the 2020 Tokyo Olympics could be in jeopardy of being canceled if the viral outbreak isn't under sufficient control in the next 2 to 3 months. The NHL is waiting before we make any decision about going back to China before next season. Obviously, we haven't announced any games there for next year, Deputy Commissioner Daly said. I think we will certainly hope that we'll be able to play preseason games there next year. I would say hopefully it continues to exist, but as time goes, it becomes far more problematic. Among the other topics Deputy Commissioner Daly discussed on Tuesday was the possibility of the Capitals playing the regular season games in Russia. The Capitals have 5 Russian players, including Captain Alex Ovechkin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Dmitry Orlov, goaltender Ilya Samsonov, and their new player, Ilya Kovalchuk, and expressed interest in playing games in Russia, but logistics to do it next season could not be worked out. For a variety of reasons, those plans don't come together, Deputy Commissioner Daly said. I think we're going to kind of work and retrench again to figure out whether it's a better strategy to try and make it happen. I know the Caps have an interest in doing that, and if not in Russia, they would have an interest in playing internationally, so we're going to accommodate that for sure. Obviously, the Caps, high profile in our league, good international content, and just makes the sense of them to bring them overseas. Although Deputy Commissioner Daly characterized the meeting between the IOC earlier this month as positive, he said the league's owners opposed to participating in the 2022 Beijing Olympics after skipping the 2018 Pyeongchang Games. Clearly, it was the first time in recent memory that the IOC acknowledged some of their concerns vis-a-vis expense reimbursement as shared some of our views with respect and being commercial partners with them, Deputy Commissioner said. So I think it's a very positive meeting. Overall, our owners will have to make a decision. Generally, Olympic participation is nothing that the league would favor. But we understand it's important to our players, so it's part of a complicated mix of issues that we have to work through. Deputy Commissioner Daly says he expects the Carolina Hurricanes' opponent for the 2021 NABA Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina, will be announced in the next 30 days. He wouldn't comment on reports that the Capitals would not be the opponent. I doubt the Capitals are going to be the opponent, to be honest. The Deputy Commissioner also cited a grievance filed by the Players Association on behalf of the Jets defenseman Dustin Byfuglien remains unresolved. Byfuglien, who has an ankle surgery in October, was suspended by the Jets without pay after he did not report for the training camp and has not played this season. We're continuing to work through various scenarios in the Players Association and the club. As between the club and the player, Deputy Commissioner Daly said, obviously, it's the way grievances work. is under the collective bargaining agreement. It's nearly the parties of the NHL Players Association, but in this case, it's really more of an individual contract issue. So all the four parties are involved, and we're trying to work out this sensible solution. All right, so we'll talk about the coronavirus. Then we'll talk about NHL players not going to the Olympics, and then we'll talk about the Stadium Series predictions because I think I did talk about that once maybe. So all right, so I personally think that Carolina will actually no, the coronavirus affecting the preseason games. They probably shouldn't go to China until, and so, a lot could change. It's like the games are in September, and right now it's February, almost March. 2 more days in this March. So, well, 3 more days in this March. So you have plenty of time to make the decision. You have like about 5 months, and you need to wait until like maybe like August, July at the earliest, and then like probably like late August, early September at the latest to actually make the decisions for this. And we'll probably come back to this like in August. And just flash back to August, or time travel to August and see what happens. But you need to wait until like maybe the coronavirus will wind down a little bit. I don't know if they found the cure for the coronavirus, but I have no idea. So if the coronavirus winds down and then it's like playable to play preseason games, then they will go to preseason. But the coronavirus shows no signs of stopping and stays the same or even gets worse. You might not see any preseason games in China for a while. That's not good. So them trying to grow the game in China is gonna be even harder. They won't even be playing games there. So yeah, and now we're done with that. So let's move on to players not going to the Olympics. Personally, I don't think that players should give the option to players. They should be like, okay, if you want to go to the Olympics, that's all cool and good, but you're gonna get suspended a game, and that's fair. So they give them the decision, but if they say you do, you will get suspended 1 NHL game because you choose to go to the Olympics, and we're against going to the Olympics. That would work, but instead they're just banning all the players. So they could just like the NHL players could be like, screw you, we're just gonna go to the Olympics anyways. But I don't know. I mean, Ovechkin really wants to go to the Olympic Games. He didn't go to the All-Star game for literally the 3rd year, and he's been going to the All-Star games, and he's been the captain for the past like 4 All-Star games, and for the 3rd one in a row, he's not going to it. Well, it already happened, but for the 3rd time in a row, he didn't go to the All-Star game, so he got suspended 1 game, and that's because he did. And the main reason is because players not going to the Olympics. So yeah, I think they should get the option to go to the Olympics. They want to add like a little suspension in there when they get suspended and stuff. So be it. That's okay. But I don't see anything in it. So all right, that's it. Navy Federal Credit Union with the Stadium Series. It might be the Blue Jackets. If it's the Flyers, I'm gonna be totally watching that. I might get tickets to go to that. But I don't really know who it is. I don't really care who it is. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna review it on the channel. So yeah. All right. So the next one is Mete. I forget his name. Let me get him here. So let me see here. Victor Mete will be out rest of the season for the Montreal Canadiens with broken foot. The defenseman left in the second period of the forcefully lost to Detroit. The Detroit Red Wings a little season rating on February 18th after blocking a shot from Red Wings defenseman Alex Biega. First off, you lost to Detroit. Montreal, you're not making the playoffs. Anyways, so Victor Mete out for the rest of the season. Let me take a look at his stats here because I don't exactly know his stats 100%. Defenseman, 11 points in 51 games. It's not too big of a hit, but it's still a big hit. So Montreal adds to their injury problems with defensemen. There you go. All right, next one. Hayden, John Hayden has been fined I pressed on the wrong one. An oddly specific fine. Hayden fined for actions in Devils game against Red Wings. Forward assessed $2,016 $2,016.13. That's oddly specific. So let's just read this because this is a really small. New Jersey Devils forward John Hayden has been fined $2,016.13, the maximum allowable for the collective bargaining agreement, for cross-checking Detroit Red Wings forward Tyler Bertuzzi during an NHL game on number 975 in Detroit on Tuesday, February 25th. National Hockey League's Department of Player Safety announced today. The incident occurred 9:14 of the third period. Hayden was assessed a major penalty and a game misconduct for cross-checking. The money goes to the Players' Emergency Assistance Fund, so that's pretty good. Get money to the Assistance Fund. There you go. Nothing too big about that. And the next one, Joe Thornton has been disappointed he wasn't traded. I think this is stupid. Why? Because he asked to stay with the Sharks. Like, what the heck are you thinking there, Thornton? So he asked to stay with the Sharks. And then the Sharks sign him, I think, like a 1-year deal with Patrick Marleau. And Marleau gets traded to the Penguins. And they could have added him to that trade. I'm not sure if Penguins have enough cap space, though, for that. Also, they could, if the Lightning had more cap space, they could have added him in the Barclay Goodrow trade for the first-round pick. That would be good. They could get him to Tampa Bay. Tampa makes the playoffs. He could get a shot at the cup. He'd be like Ray Bourque, winning his Stanley Cup in his last season, because this is probably going to be his last season, honestly. I don't know if I can see him playing another year with the Sharks, honestly. So yeah, there you go. That's it for this one. For that one, actually. So I think we have 2 more. Lively. I won't say this. I'm just gonna say this. Laviolette will coach U.S. at Worlds. We did talk about Laviolette. It's like one of the most popular videos on the channel, actually. Of Laviolette's firing. That was actually probably one of the most popular videos on the channel. I think it still is one of the most popular videos on the channel. So, yeah, and then Muzzin is out 4 weeks with a broken foot, I'm pretty sure. A broken arm, I'm not too sure. That's not good for Toronto. Toronto keeps getting all these injuries. I feel so bad for Toronto. But with Toronto, Leafs fans don't like Jake Muzzin. So that's kind of good for them. And then he signed the freaking 4-year deal, and the whole Maple Leafs just explode. So this is not good. Toronto's defense gets even worse. Their defense they keep getting tons of injuries. Tons. And I mean tons. I've said tons like 3 times. But anyways, not good. I hope they're going to try to get a good defense, and they're just barely going to make it to playoffs, to be honest. And I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs. Sorry, Toronto fans. Anyways, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. We just got it under 20 minutes here. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.